Podketeers.
It doesn't pick up as much noise as it normally does. I had to reset a lot of stuff recently, and I'm still trying to get everything back on track here. I had to unplug a bunch of stuff and move some cables and replace some that...
Unplug cables?
Well, I accidentally frayed them because my desk has wheels on it, and it's one of the standing desks. Okay. But it's technically not a desk. It's technically a workbench. It's a tool bench. So it doesn't have like the cool buttons where it like raises and lowers on its own. I have to hand crank it like to get it to go up. And I didn't realize that several USB cables and stuff got caught in the mechanism that turns, and so it frayed, like they got caught. And when I brought it anyway, I had to replace cables. And so
how often are you standing at your desk?
I try to do it 2 or 3 times a day now. Just to get some like blood flow, you know.
Sure.
So try to do it 2-3 times a day. Try to, walk away at least once an hour to get some water or something. Get, unfocused from the screen, you know, so my head doesn't hurt and stuff.
My watch yells at me. It goes, "Hey, dum-dum, you got to stand up." And I'm like, maybe later. Sorry.
Mine would too, except that I took mine off.
I think it's funny when I'm driving down to the Disneyland from my house, which is a 7-hour drive. It's like, you should probably stand up right now. I'm like, I don't think you want me to stand up right now.
I mean, you could. It's just not going to be good.
Not a priority.
Yeah, it's just not going to be good.
Yeah, I pity the fool who stands up in the car.
Yeah, but I don't wear my watch, because I didn't want. There was some other stuff that was getting triggered that it was logging, and I was like, well, that's not. I don't want to see that all the time. So, I just stopped wearing it. It's just sitting on the charger now.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Somebody should bring I Pity the Fool back. Should it be me?
No.
Do it.
Mr. T's not dead yet.
No.
I shouldn't say anything. I'm
so,
going to
listen, so it's funny that you say that. And because last week... We were talking about Brian Wilson, and we were like, I had Kokomo in my head, and I was like singing that, and like, God Only Knows was in my head, and I just kept singing those songs throughout the day, and I was listening to the Beach Boys. And so when we started recording, he came up, because the song was still in my head. We started off by jokingly singing the song and stuff. And then we got the news, a few days after that Brian Wilson had passed away. And I thought, oh my God, that's so sad. We were just talking about him. And, the reason that he was on the forefront of my mind and the songs were front and center for me was because I've been listening to the podcast with Jodie Sweetin and Andrea Barber, what's it called? Something Tanneritos or something. How Rude Tanneritos is what it's called. That's what it's called. And basically they're doing a Full House rewatch, right? And so I jumped on that rewatch because they had appeared on the Boy Meets World rewatch podcast. And, it's fun to listen to what they were experiencing, what they can remember because they were kids, right? But they had just talked. The episode I had listened to was the episode where the Beach Boys appeared and they were at the Coliseum on stage with them, and so they were talking about the episode.
That's the first Beach Boys one because they were on 5.
Oh yeah, they were on a lot.
Yeah.
The craziest one is the one. Anyway, the point is that they were fresh in my mind because I had just listened to that episode of How Rude Tanneritos.
Right.
And, to get the news that Brian Wilson passed away after, it kind of caught me off guard. It was kind of jarring. The first person that sent me the link was our pal Jason. He's like, oh my God, you guys were just talking about him. And, then he sent me the news. I was like, guys, look. And then I sent it to you guys, and I was like, this is sad. This is horrible. So, to all of Brian's family and friends, obviously, we want to send our condolences. But it's just...
We were just, in the moment of the vibe of what this music was.
Yeah.
This really threw us off.
Yeah.
And, I actually heard from Heather, FGP Squad member, and she messaged me on the side and said the same thing. And I was like, Yeah, and then I had told her I had sent you guys the information, cause I was like, this sucks,
Yeah.
you know. It's just one of those weird situations where it's just eerie, timing, pretty much. But
Right.
yeah,
And my joke was not a call for Mr. T. Everybody forget I said Mr. T. I like Mr. T. So no, I don't want to hear any bad news about Mr. T.
Yeah. Let's
yeah, no, keep him safe.
Yeah.
Keep Mr. T safe. He's a national treasure.
Mhm.
He pities the fool.
He does.
Stay in school, drink your milk, don't do drugs, Mr. T cereal.
Yes.
You know about Mr. T's songs, albums? I'm just going to go on a Mr. T
I do know
tangent.
about his albums.
I've heard something like
Yeah.
that.
Mother, there is no other.
It's
Like mother.
very Macho Man.
Yeah.
And Macho Man before Macho
Yeah.
Man too. It's like
Yep.
you know, but it's like songs versus like Macho Man's like rap, mostly, but the Mr. T thing that sticks in my head all the time is he did a World of Warcraft commercial. I don't know if anybody remembers
Really?
this yeah. So there was I've played this commercial in my head like 1 million times.
Oh.
And there was like they're adding like a night elf or whatever to World of Warcraft.
He was a night
as, like,
elf?
so he's like, I'm Mr. T and I'm a night elf mohawk. Like it had a mohawk. It's like Lord More at
cool.
Warcraft.com.
That's funny.
And that just like is in my head forever. I'm Mr. T and I'm a night elf mohawk.
That's funny.
Because he was a night elf mohawk. So if I ever play Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know if you can be a night elf mohawk.
Is that Warcraft is
I don't
different
see why
than
not.
No, it's different. But what if I make my own
Okay.
rules?
I mean,
What if-
we have been known to make our own rules for things that
I was
we do
talking
anyway,
to my sister.
so
Yeah, I was talking to
Right.
my sister because she was like trying to start doing some Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and I was like, "Can I just be anything? Can I just be Indiana Jones? What if I break? Because it's like you have to have like a character. I'm like, what if I'm Mickey Mouse? What if I? What I got a whole shelf of toys.
can't you get Disney Infinity characters and use those as your
Hey.
avatar in the game?
Can I? Who else I got here? I got Frasier. Can I be Frasier Crane?
Do you have a Frasier action figure?
I have a Frasier Funko.
Nice. Do it.
I have Goofy as Sala.
I didn't even know
I
that
think
existed.
anything goes in a fantasy world, so do it.
Yeah.
Use Wally.
I don't know. Dungeons and
I
Dragons
use-
people, let me know if
I can use
be
today.
to Yoda and
And for
I
those
got-
who can't see that, today is a, what do we say, an inside running joke?
Oh yeah. it's the bust
Goes
of Yoda.
back to March
Yeah.
Mayhem, and that is Yoda.
Sorry.
So
Sometimes I forget.
it's okay.
I'll be Pee Wee Herman.
Yes, you can.
Oh man. I have to tell you, I feel like I needed to laugh this week.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's been a heavy week, to say the least.
Yes. Emotional too.
Very emotional. Our goal on a weekly basis is to come on here and provide a little bit of happiness and a little bit of magic, a little bit of an escape from reality, similar to how the parks have kind of worked for us. And sometimes that's difficult because real life just hits in ways that are just really difficult to ignore sometimes.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about the writer strikes and we've talked about the cast member strikes. And I know we've used the phrase, man, it's been a crazy week more than once. Quite a lot, actually.
It's been this whole year.
Right. But that's kind of because like every week seems to be telling the last, check this out, hold my beer. Right. And then it
Yes.
just keeps building and
Yes.
building. But there was a handful of people that reached out this last week and asked if everything was okay, if we were okay. And I just want to quickly address this because I think what people saw on the news was a little blown out of proportion in some cases.
Sure.
LA has this like a really, really huge footprint. And what was happening in a very small area. It was very peaceful, but it was in a very small area.
It was a couple blocks.
It was a couple blocks worth, yeah. And
Yep.
phrases like the neighboring city of Santa Monica in reference to LA and what was like happening are just outright wrong, because like LA and Santa Monica are like 20 miles apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that it was being reported that way really helped carry this false narrative about what was happening. Needless to say, though, the things that we've been seeing and the attacks per se were just wrong. The last 5 years, 10 years now, I don't know, have been a lot, to say the least. And I know that there's a lot of people that don't want to talk about this stuff because they're mentally or emotionally drained. In a lot of cases, I think it's just a form of self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
But what we saw this last week was atrocious and just heartbreaking. What's more is that there's people that truly believe what is happening is the right thing to do. I want to be clear when I say it's not. And as of this recording, I know measures are being taken to try to course correct a bit, so that's a positive. I know the Disney community itself was affected when reports started coming in that the general area around the resort had been affected. And as of this moment, we can't confirm if any of that was true. But the parks, are a general source of happiness for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And hearing something like that did strike a lot of fear in many.
Absolutely.
That were either there or were on their way there or were planning to be there. So to quote the film Holes and The Mandalorian, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Exactly. And this is not the way. I guess that's not a direct Mandalorian quote because it is the way for him, but this is not the way. So, with all of that said, we're going to kind of hard pivot back into the episode right now, but I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to tell you how we felt about all of this. And to all of those that are most in danger, we just want to say, please stay safe. I know that feels empty to some, but in many ways, that's the best we can offer at the moment. So, I think we're gonna jump back into the podcast at this point. So,
yep, let's just jump back.
Yeah. Let's see. I had a couple of videos that I wanted to show you. Mm-hmm. So I've been on this creator kick recently, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that, Andrew,
what? I have spoken. More Mandalorian.
Right. So this is all going to tie in, obviously, with what I'm about to talk about, but by any chance, do you have the Disney plaque that I sent you and the one that you got from D23 available?
Sure do.
Okay. If you don't mind, can we compare them once I'm done with what I want to show you?
Yeah, I can do a whole, we can unbox my whole boxes that just came in the mail.
Perfect.
We can go through the whole
Perfect.
box.
Okay. So I've been on this creator kick, right? Because for those of you that have been following us for a while, you know that whenever we run a fundraiser for Team Boat Willie, our official charity team, Team Boat Willie, boom, Team Boat Willie.
Yeah.
We like
TeamBoatWillie.com.
We like to auction things off. We like to have we like to send people gifts for their donations as a thank you. And last year we sent people these Disney plaques. We thought it was just you didn't have to buy it or anything, we weren't selling it or anything like that. We just made them as a thank you for everyone that was able to donate to our fundraiser. And so this year, I've been doing more 3D printing, and I'm a little more familiar with it and everything. I've been trying to figure out, like, well, what are we going to do this year? Like, what are we going to give away? And I considered creating, like, a special edition style pin for Teamboat Willie, like 3D printed so that it was really I know people have a problem with me saying that it's handmade, but trust me, if you knew how much work I'm putting into these things after they're 3D printed, with the sanding and the painting and the sanding and the priming and the sanding and the everything that I put into it.
And the flailing and the boiling and the Heyzen and
trust
the
me,
Heyzen.
There's a lot of hand work
And
that
the
goes
crying
into
in
it.
between.
Oh my goodness.
Crying and
For real.
Throwing in the garbage.
Especially when things fail, there is,
Yeah.
listen, I'm going to show you something that I'm working on right now that I was so sad because my Charlie Brown head just didn't fit into it. And, you know, now my brother is the happy recipient of this, but check it out.
Oh,
You
nice.
guys know I'm a wrestling fan, right? And
Yes.
so I printed
yeah.
Triple H's crown from WrestleMania.
Dude, that's sick.
I know.
I'm pretty sure his name is...
Triple H. That's his name.
Man.
Triple H.
Lucky to have that.
Anyway, so I printed that out just because I thought it'd be cool, like, display piece. And I thought, you know, I want to get at least one picture of me wearing it, and it doesn't fit because my head is too large. So the bad thing is that I can't print any larger. I'd have to print it in pieces and glue it all together to make it fit my enormous head. Anyway, I've been looking for something to send as a thank you gift this year to anyone that donates to our Walk for Hope campaign, which is going to be available soon. And I found a creator on one of the sites that I frequent that created this amazing piece. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, you know, this and this is what we're doing. We're raising money to help fight cancer. We'd like to send people thank you gifts. Would you allow us to use this model? You know, we're not collecting any of the money. People just make the donation. We just send them a thank you gift. And it looks like we have the permission of the creator to use that piece as the item that we're going to be sending out this year. So I'm so excited because I know you both are big fans. I'm going to do a reveal potentially next week, so make sure that you're listening.
Tell you, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in the history of anything, and I want
you might get 6 of them, who knows?
Or 6 life-size ones.
That's going to be much harder.
I want to build my house out of them is what I want. I'm going to have to buy a 3D printer.
Listen,
and
if we only do
run
like a portion of it,
24/7.
you could put them in the corners of a room.
Ooh.
Waka
Waka. Yeah.
So I'm going to do a reveal next episode. I did some test prints this week. It's sitting right here next to me. I don't want to. I was testing some paint, and I want to see if I can get this looking like nice and spiffy to show it to everybody. But
Yeah. I believe
I'm
in you.
so excited about this. So that's coming.
You're excited. I'm excited.
Oh, I know. I know you're probably more excited.
Too excited to sleep.
Yeah, I know I am. So anyway, so I've been on this like creator kick, right? And so because I've been like viewing people's videos and going through people's archives of like their models and stuff like that, obviously I see other things that they've built and other projects, and I'm so impressed by the things that people make all the time, and it's just goals, right? Like you want to strive to make something better every time you see this stuff. And so I wanted to show you this video. I don't know the creator's name, but the account is starwars.io on Instagram. And
Star Wars and
starwars.io. Yeah. And this, now I don't know if he also made the droid, but they did make this hilt, and it actually extends like a lightsaber does. I know Disney was like, you know, we created our extending lightsaber and stuff like that, but I hope we don't get anger anybody for using the audio for this, but I'm going to play his video so you can check this out because he's thanking people for the love on this lightsaber that he created.
Hey guys, I'm getting so many questions on this thing, and one of the big ones is how long is it?
He's talking about the lightsaber.
And I think because I shot the other video in perspective, some of you were seeing it as only being like a foot long, and as you can see, it is much longer than that. But do you think we should measure it? Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Wow.
altogether we're at 44 inches right now, with the blade being 31 inches. It can go up to 36, which is a little sketchy, and I'm well aware of how Disney makes their
Having a hard time with this tape measure.
Mine, I think, is a
poor
little
guy.
bit
Wow.
sturdier for like spinning and stuff. So if you guys have
looks-
any other questions, please let me know. I'll try to make some other videos. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support and everything. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Isn't it awesome? Okay, let me see if I can bring up one of the other videos.
But yeah, it was just, I mean, you could hear it going a little bit when he extended it, but it's just fully extends just like the one that they used for the
For the
Star
show.
Cruiser.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the other video where this was like a week ago, okay, where he's talking about his
Ooh,
expandable,
recent.
or retractable lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was muted. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's
okay.
still
Oh,
cool.
nope, can't use that song.
Nope. That is awesome.
It's so sturdy too.
What I love is how when he
And it just
plays
completely
with
goes
it, it's
back
just
down.
it looks so good. It doesn't
Right?
look like a light bulb.
It doesn't
Oh,
look like a toy.
I think
Right.
I think I see what's going on here.
What do you think is going on?
So in this part of the thing, you can kind of see the video. In the video, if you're watching, there's like, you can kind of see a
The
spiral.
levels right here, the spiral
Yeah,
levels.
well, it's that it's they're like at an angle. So he has some sort of stiff rod that's like rising this spiral piece going up.
But it's
something
well
like
done
that.
and clean.
And, yeah, I'm curious to see what this looks like in person versus like the video, because the light on the inside is definitely like blowing out some of the like lightsaber part.
Yeah.
It still is fantastic, and like this is exactly what you want out of a lightsaber. So I don't care if that's how
Yeah.
he does it. Like, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's me trying to figure out, okay, what did he do here? How is he doing it? Et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I think that a lot of the technology that he's potentially using to create this is really similar to the way that Lanny created the one that they're using like in the parks, or they were using originally on the Star Cruiser, because that's where they debuted it.
Right.
But I don't think because I remember watching a video. I was trying to find it right now to see if I could play a piece of it, but there was a piece that was written not too long ago, like mid last year or early last year, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it came out before the Holotile video, but they showed like this animation of how in the lightsaber hilt that Lanny created, there's these retractable LEDs that are basically like unwinding out into
Right.
itself, right, to create the lightsaber portion of it. And this one looks very similar, except for the fact that this looks closer to how they have like the expandable ones, where like you toss it a little bit
Right.
and it's like leveled out, kind of like a pyramid, almost like this cone structure that's just built into itself. But it's just so smooth. The thing that really caught my attention is those things, like I've seen swords, like little plastic toy swords that you like swipe out and then they kind of extend and they lock into themselves, right? Because the way that the cones are set, they're just a little smaller, and so they lock
Right.
into the top of the last piece to create the effect of the sword. That looks like how this is structured, but it's so smooth when he like retracts it and he expands it. I don't know how he's keeping it together. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to figure out as far as this is concerned, because it just looks so good. It's so smooth.
So I think what his is, it's basically like, imagine you like rolled up a piece of paper, right?
Right.
But this is like plastic. It's like that, where it's extending that shape and kind of like twisting it out.
Right.
So it's like one single wrapped piece, as opposed to like the conical ones where it's like piece. So that's how it looks like it goes out smoothly. I found that animation you're talking about, Heyzen, of the...
send me the link so I can play it real quick.
Yes, I'll send it right now.
Because that was a
It's
good
just
video,
incredible
too.
how clean the demonstration and how it works. It's just, to get something like that, it doesn't look clunky or
It is around,
cheap. Like,
just
it
so
looks
you know,
so good.
6 minutes and 47 seconds.
Gotcha. All right.
Roughly.
Well, we have to get past YouTube ads.
Ad.
Boo.
It's around 6 minutes and what?
42 seconds.
6:42. Okay, here we go.
Somewhere around there, 46.
Perfect. Okay, so let me share this screen. Okay, so this was the video that was originally shared. This was a fantastic video, by the way. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. We'll leave a link for it. So that's what I was talking about. That's the drivetrain.
Right. So it's basically like two flat pieces of plastic that then get they're kind of like tape measures, basically, where it kind of bends them together.
Right.
And they lock together and makes this tube.
And it's got those
And then
LEDs.
It's got the LEDs lining the the plastic, but that part of it makes it so it's probably not nearly as sturdy. I mean, she's waving it around and it's fine, but I'm sure you wouldn't be able to knock stuff over like he was doing in his video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't try that.
But it looks freaking great too.
It does.
But you can also see her holding it, that the hilt is a lot larger than a standard lightsaber thing, which is whatever, who cares?
Well,
but
there's a lot for it to retract, right? Like there.
There's just a lot of stuff you need to fit inside of that entire small frame.
And then, but if we go back to the other video, like the hilt on his lightsaber is fairly large as well.
Yeah, and that's probably, I think all of these are going to have to be, you got to fit a lot of motors and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Things.
Plus a battery and all that, to get it to function. So,
have you seen those 3D printed twist swords, the twist lightsaber thing?
No.
Oh, I'll have to send it to you. Basically, it's like a lightsaber, and it has like a knob on the bottom, and you twist it and it extends. And it's like one of those, I think it's a print in place. I'm not 100% sure, but you twist it and it extends all the way out without having to fling it out.
What?
It's a really cool
All right, send
thing.
it to
We'll
me.
have to find that
Maybe
at
I'll
some
print
point.
one
I'll
out
find
and
it
then
and
we'll
send
test
to
it.
you.
Hey.
That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, definitely a creator you should check out, especially if you're into Star Wars. I don't know what it would cost to build one of these. I haven't heard him speak of, the price or what it costs or anything, but I haven't watched all the videos. But this might be one of those projects that, I don't know, maybe I want to give a shot. See if I can build it, especially if there's some kind of information on how he put it together. But the other creator that I wanted to show you, I thought this was a super fun video and kind of scary if you wake up in the middle of the night and this is just in your living room. But the creator is named Rug or Matt over on TikTok, and they built a giant Forky.
Oh, I was watching this.
Wow.
They actually have an entire series from the moment that they started building Forky until the end. This is the thank you video. I'll play this one because he's just kind of thanking everybody for kind of being on the journey with him. But let me play this.
Couple details left to and let you guys know how fun this project has been for me. This is a giant Forky-inspired project, by the way, if you happen to be new here. Cardboard, spray foam, wood glue, yarns, wire,
Yes,
googly
that's
eyes,
awesome.
all kinds of fun stuff. But I knew if I brought you into my mind and shared my creative process with you, like on an actual project, it would be received well. But it was just a crazy hurdle in my head that I had to jump in order to make it happen. And I am so glad I did. Seriously, you guys did not disappoint. My numbers have been increasing at a pretty crazy rate on all platforms. Side note, find me everywhere. It's the same username as whatever platform you're watching me on right now. I love to create on both an
like
arts
how
and crafts
Porky's
level,
eyes
but
are
also
moved.
on the content side. This,
Every
I
time
love
there's a
this.
cut,
And I
the
feel
eyes, like,
the
move.
that we're building here is pretty amazing. Seriously, you guys give me so much support, and you boost my serotonin levels constantly. I can't even get over it. That said, I'm fairly certain that the growing popularity on my account is going to open some doors, and I cannot thank you enough. So should I happen to partner with some brands, know that my opinions will continue to be
Wow,
genuine. Whether
that's
it's a
good.
product that I use on a regular
Anyway,
basis,
he-
or one that I feel will elevate
He
my
continues to
craft. Know
thank
that-
people. The video's almost over,
So-
but
Yeah.
I'll give him a better frame than that one.
I wait
That was a horrible pause frame. But yeah, there's tons of these videos. If you follow this creator, Rug or Matt, you heard him. He's like on Instagram. This was on TikTok where I found him, but
I used to watch his videos on Instagram.
okay,
so yeah,
potentially it's probably on
over there.
YouTube or something. But this was really inspiring because as I've been building more stuff and as I've been putting, more of these little projects together, there's obviously a limit to how much I can produce and what I can produce and the scale of things that I can produce, right? Like this item that we're going to be talking about or that we're going to be showing next week as part of what we're giving away for Team Boat Willie. We kind of joked about creating a life-size version of it, but with the capacity of what I have, unless I had access to a whole print farm or something, it's not going to happen life-size, right? Or it would take me 6 months to produce something life-size because it's
absolutely.
tons of pieces that would,
Right.
would have to be built
This
somewhere.
thing in real life is what 14 feet.
It's
tall
very
or
tall,
something.
especially if it was
That is so
to
cool.
scale to what's
Right.
in the parks, right? But this Forky, it's a bunch of cardboard, styrofoam. It's yarn. Yeah,
It's everything that you could think of to make anything by hand.
yes.
That's why I'm so excited to learn that. I honestly thought this was 3D printed.
I did too. That's
So
what caught
I'm
my
like,
eye.
Yes.
Did you watch any of a lot of the videos of leading up to it? Or?
I watched the last couple. Yeah.
Okay, so I watched a lot of the beginning ones because when it came across my feed, he was, I think he was working on the arms. Was the last thing I had seen, but basically he had made a big spoon. That was like he had made the big spoon, and then he goes, maybe I should make this into a Forky. And what he's trying to do is do everything at scale, like scale everything up.
Wow.
So there's
Wow.
little all the details and stuff of this would be made out of clay, but because it's so small, these textures would be bigger, and this thing, he's really zooming in and finding all these Forky I didn't realize that Forky had these buttons on him. There's 3 little gems or something.
It's supposed to be like the collar or something, right?
Right, now there's just they're just 3 little things, and he goes, well, this is where they are, and this is kind of what they look like, and he made them out of resin, I think, and stuff. And the eyes are, he bought the googly eyes, and then he did a whole video on talking about I don't want them just to sit there, Forky's face, so he attached clock motors to the blacks of
Whoa.
the eyes, and so they're just constantly
That's why they
going
moved.
slowly, and they're out of sync with each other, so he'll always be making a different expression.
Oh my gosh.
The arms are like a wire that he like threaded a bunch of yarn through in loops, and then he
That's
had to
what it looks
cut it
like.
all and trim it and everything and fluff it up with one of those dog hair
I love
brushes and all
it.
this stuff. It's crazy. This is a fantastic piece, and it's it's something that's just fun and silly and cool,
Yeah.
which is always nice to see.
It's a fun display piece.
And made with stuff people can actually buy and get.
And I think that's the point that Mel was trying to get to a little bit ago, that this is just household items, right?
Right.
Anybody, regardless of whether you want to build this to the scale that he built it, I'm pretty sure that you can take the steps from the videos and make like a little table piece forky, you know, make a
absolutely.
smaller
all
version
stuff
of
you
it.
can get at Home Depot. Like if you can
Right.
get to Home Depot, you can get
And
it.
if you
can
want
make this.
to, you don't want to deal with foam, paper mache it. There you go.
You could do that as well. So
Yeah.
the bad thing is obviously, you know, if you want to buy a lot of yarn, like Joann's is not the place for you. Sorry.
Go, Michaels.
Or go to the 99 cents. Or no, Dollar Tree. That doesn't even.
Do they
that
have-
store
do
doesn't
they have
exist.
yarn at
99 cent store
Dollar
doesn't
Tree?
exist.
So
Dollar Tree has stuff. So hey.
all right. Well,
Hey, sometimes I see yarn at the thrift store.
do you really?
Like every-
Yes.
Yeah, like you'll see yarn at the thrift store.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen yarn at the thrift store.
They got all kinds of stuff at the thrift store. You don't need, go to a estate sale. Hey, there's lots of yarn at a estate sale.
Interesting.
Old people love yarn.
All right. All right. So there's a couple of creators that I definitely recommend going to check out their pages and follow them, especially if you like building things or just want an idea. The lightsaber one, definitely, if you're interested in tinkering with electronics, great one. I haven't seen many more of these videos from Rug or Matt, but I'm going to now because
Right, me too. I just just follow.
yeah, this is fantastic. It's a great it's a great series. As far as the little thumbnails that I saw, but now that you
Right.
kind of
Well, I
reviewed
mean,
it, like now I you know.
You can also like see just what the screen we're looking at here, like the older videos, like as it starts, like there's 969 likes, 849. Then you go up 52,000 likes, 32,000, 118,000. Oh well, there on his page you can, if you're looking at it, you can see the difference just on his videos.
Yeah.
How much he's grown from his early videos over to his you know, newer videos.
But that's cool though.
As
Like
the project grows. Well, that's
Yeah,
great. It means you can still grow as a a content person.
it's especially
on
difficult
this.
now, obviously, especially
Right.
with just Disney content in general, because there's such a saturation of it on every platform. But this is so cool because again, it's very creative, it's very engaging, and you know, I don't know, maybe we'll ask him to be on the podcast, talk about his project or something.
That'd be
Maybe
cool.
We'll reach out. We'll see. Okay. I think it's time to move on. Before we do, I want to take a brief moment to thank a very special group of listeners and watchers because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. Who am I talking about? The FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, a link to our Patreon, some information about what the FGP Squad is all about. But in general, you get some additional perks like access to additional content that we've uploaded to Patreon, discount codes for new Podketeers gear, a special section of Discord, random giveaways. Like sometimes I'll just print a bunch of stuff and I'll just send it out to people because it's taking up space in my house, and a lot of it is just because I thought it would be a fun print. So yeah, that's, you know, the FGP Squad. So podketeers.com/FGP is where you want to go for more information. But of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Since we're talking about links, I want to tell you about podketeers.com/links. Why? Because that's where you'll have easy access to some of our most commonly asked for links, including our latest episode, the Quizneyland playlist. There was a new episode this week, by the way. Go check it out. You'll also find links to the FGP Squad, our Discord community. We'd love for you to join us there and talk about just random things and Disney stuff, of course. There's also links to our YouTube channel and our pal Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures. Larry goes to the parks a few times a week and he streams from there with his wife, Rebecca. Make sure that you go check that out. And of course, a link to our Armchair Imagineering playlist. So again, podketeers.com/links is where you want to go. Do the bookmark thing, do the little icon on your home screen. I'm bringing back the doobity doop and the dooblity blobbity blop and the gloppity gloop, and I don't know. whatever you want to call it.
Beep boo boo bop.
Beep boop bop. Baby boopy bop? Well, you sang a
Bop
Barney
is
song last
steady.
week, right? Like, maybe that's what
Yeah.
we should bring back. So anyway, let's get back to the podcast. Hey, Mel, you sent this link to us about this film, like 40, 70 years later. I don't know.
Oh, I was like, wait, what are we talking about?
Tell us about this, and yeah, tell us about this.
Okay, so this film, I'm going to try to... So how they... No. Hold on.
I caught you off guard. I'm sorry.
No. It's all good. I was like, how do I explain? Okay, so this film, it's been around for 40 years, and they're proud to state that it's the only film that has been made, since... So in between, from the 40 years, from the first time it debuted to now, there's been multiple movies that have multiple, sequels, prequels, many titles, and it's all listed. Every
Do you want
single
me
one.
just to read the whole thing?
That would be cool.
You want me to do that here? I have brought the video up, and then we can talk about it.
Because it is
after goes.
hilarious.
38 years ago, there was only one Star Wars trilogy. But since then, there has been a prequel trilogy, a sequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, a prequel to the sequel, countless TV spin-offs, a movie spin-off of the TV spin-off, which is both a prequel and a sequel, not to mention 2 Dunes, 7 Jurassic Parks, 2 Avatars, plus 3 upcoming Avatars, making 5 Avatars, 36 MCU movies with 2 different Robert Downey Jr.'s,
Yep.
DCU attempt number 1, DCU attempt number 2,
Yep.
an animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King prequel, 8 Harry Potter movies, a TV series remaking the same 8 Harry Potter movies, a whole streaming service of Star Trek, 7 Alien movies, 2 of which were also Predator movies, not to be mistaken for the 6 Predator movies that were not also Alien movies, 1 Prometheus, which is kind of an Alien movie, 4 Beatles movies, and Oppenheimer. But in 38 years, there has only ever been one
One.
Spaceballs.
One. So we
Until
learned-
now.
Exactly.
We're getting 7
So
of
we're
them.
Yay! No, we're getting 2. But the coolest thing is we're getting Mel Brooks, who is going to be 99 years old. So he fits yogurt perfectly.
You won't even need the makeup. Just the gold makeup.
Right. So you have that. I need to pull up who. Oh my
So
gosh! names.
returning our Bill Paxton.
There you go.
And
But
Rick
Rick
Moranis
Moranis is coming back from
are
retirement, which is like
so far.
yay.
So this movie was originally announced like a year ago or something, 2 years ago, that by Josh Gad, who is developing this project with a couple other folks, and he will also be in the movie in some role that's not announced. I think him.
You know
and
what?
he the dog?
Bartholomew.
Well, he might be. I think he might be like, you know how Chewbacca has like Lumpy,
Oh, Stumpy,
his
right?
son. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
he's like Barf Jr. or something.
I love that. He has to be.
Who knows? That would be fun because John Candy is no longer with us. Neither is Joan Rivers, who was in the movie before.
Dottie, yeah.
Dot Matrix, yeah. And I think Keke
Princess-
Palmer was also
She's-
announced
Yeah.
to be in this as well.
The person who played Princess Vespa, she's not coming back on it. Which
Did she
kinda made
say
me sad.
anything? Or because the thing I read was just like they haven't said whether or not she's going to be a part of it.
Yeah,
or
as
not.
of now.
Yeah. So maybe she's just not attached yet. Who knows? We'll see.
True.
Hopefully they can get anybody and everybody that wants to be a part of it because I'm a big old Mel Brooks fan. I don't know how y'all are, but Mel Brooks is a big old influence on me. I like big dumb silly things.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been just wanting some Mel Brooks things to be, they had the History of the World Part 2 on Hulu, which was last year. And this is just, for being 99 in this video, he looks pretty good.
He does.
And
He's like kicking hard.
I really, really do hope that we get the Spaceballs merchandise.
Yes.
Because if you know the history of Spaceballs, the big thing Mel Brooks talked to George Lucas and was like, hey, I want to make a parody of Star Wars. Can I get your blessing to make a parody of Star Wars? And he said, yes, as long as you do not make any merchandise for Spaceballs. Because that was George Lucas's, that's how Star Wars became so big, is George Lucas, took advantage of merchandising.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's how he made so much money from Star Wars, is all merchandising. So he didn't want something encroaching on his merchandising for Star Wars. But I'm really hoping that there will be, in the video he's wearing Spaceballs the sweatshirt. And that's why that scene, if you've seen Spaceballs, exists, where they have all the merchandise. Spaceballs the lunchbox, and Spaceballs the and then here's Spaceball the VHS, and we're watching it right now, and all that stuff. That's why that scene exists in that movie. And if you know about that's a very common thing to know. But I'm really hoping that they go hard on the Spaceballs merchandise for this release, because I will be buying all of the Spaceballs the sweatshirt, Spaceballs the whatever. That will be things I own.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna say something that I think I talked about it once before. I may have even told both of you, but I don't remember liking Spaceballs.
Really?
And that's
Dark Helmet?
which, by the way, is the complete opposite with that Triple H crown thing, because his was oversized, mine is just too small, so it's a little reversed in our situations. I've realized that in order for me to either enjoy a film or for me to really connect with it, I have to be in the mood to watch it. Sure. And Mel Brooks movies, I think, are a special kind of silly that if you're not in the right mindset to accept the type of silly that are in Mel Brooks films, it's just going to be ridiculous to you. And
Mel
the
Brooks films play great in the middle of the night.
And that's the thing.
Sleep deprived, watch a Mel Brooks movie.
And that's the thing, History of the World and Blazing Saddles and Robin Hood Men in Tights, all those films, I love those films. I think they're super funny. Young Frankenstein, all these films I think are fantastic. But there's something about Spaceballs that I remember watching it, and maybe I wasn't in the right mindset, but I remember watching it and I was like, this is ridiculous. There was some expletives in there, but I was like, this is just ridiculous.
Well, and I know what you're saying too. Spaceballs isn't my favorite Mel Brooks by far, but I think it's the best one to sequelize of what's available, because doing a Robin Hood Men in Tights sequel would be kind of weird. It makes sense because of basically the whole teaser they did. There's been all these Star Wars sequels and everything since they made it, and so kind of parodying that sort of style I think could be fun. And Mel Brooks isn't writing or directing this. He's just kind of giving people his blessing
Gotcha.
to make this. I'm sure he'll be executive producer and et cetera, but based on what I read, Josh Gad is part of I think is writing it with a bunch of people and producing it, et cetera.
So you talked about the merchandise. Given that Disney now owns the IP for Star Wars, what do you think? Do you think that because Josh Gad, Disney legend Josh Gad, is now attached to the project, and Mel Brooks isn't a Disney legend, he hasn't like he's done stuff with Disney. Like he was in like Special Agent Oso as one of the parents or grandparents or something like that.
He was in Toy Story 4.
He was in Toy Story 4, so he's done stuff with Disney.
Maleficent Brooks, come on.
But he's not like a Disney legend or anything like that. Like, do you think that the swagger that Josh Gad has built up for himself, like doing all those jungle cruise videos and all that stuff for Disney, like, do you think it's enough for him to be like, guys, we should merchandise the heck out of this?
Here's what I think. I think the deal between George Lucas and Mel Brooks was like a handshake deal. It was just like, I trust you to do this and not to do this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't think there's any, like, formal contract. There may be, and I could be wrong, but, doing a parody movie, is within a lot of people's rights. And especially, this sequel has so much lore to it already that is well established that I don't think they can get, really infringed upon at this point, being nearly 40 years old. So that's my thinking is that was just a deal for that movie, and it was just like I give you my word to not do this, so you don't come after me for making this, aren't too hard on me for, doing a Star Wars prequel if something may falter in a little too close to your IP sort of thing. So, I mean, but hey, if Josh Gad's got some clout, he might be able to schmooze some folks over there, Hey, I'm Josh Gad, and I don't know why I did that voice. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, Olaf.
Hey, guys, I'm Olaf, and I want to make Spaceballs. I got to work on that voice,
So-
for sure.
yeah.
I don't know what that is. That's bad.
I
That's
wanna
bad. Let's
say-
just cut that whole thing out.
No, I'm leaving
40
it
years
in.
ago, or 38 years ago was a lot different. Like, they didn't have all these movies out and stuff, so probably they thought, oh, this is going to be a threat. Like, you can't do anything. I understand that. I do. So I'm assuming it's been this many, decades and whatnot. They've already done their thing. They've made so much money. If they want to make money, Disney likes to make money. I'm just saying, make the plush. Give us a giant comb, giant helmet. Bartholomew as a plush. I don't know.
Yes, give us Stumpy. I know Andrew loves it when I call Lumpy Stumpy.
Lumpy Stumpy. Yeah, that's okay. And I mean, yeah, so like the last Star, of the trilogy was released in 83. Is it 77, 79, 83 or something like that, the Star Wars films. And Spaceballs, the original, was released in 87, so it's like very close, in that time, 5 years
Right.
or so, 4 years between, the finale of Star Wars at that time and Spaceballs. And so I can see, like, Star Wars toys in the 80s, I'm sure, were huge at that time. So that's, that's where their thing. But now there wasn't as many toys. Now, like, everything's a toy. You can go get, I don't know, Knives Out 2 toys or whatever. I don't know. Everything's got a toy at this point. So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I think they will do well on the merchandise if it's a lot of parodying of what was in the first film of the merchandise. Spaceballs, the Lunchbox, Spaceballs, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm just excited of the possibilities of what they could pull because it's just parodies. Like, how much of Star Wars are they gonna like mock or anything?
Right.
I'm just curious.
I want to see how they mock Kylo Ren.
I want
That's
Spaceballs.
exactly where I was going.
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly what I was going for.
That'd
I'm
be
like,
funny.
I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, that's the thing. How much of it is going to be a direct sequel of Spaceballs, and how much of it is going to be a parody of the
new
last-
Star Wars.
Well, not even just it's every other Star Wars that has existed since then. Like, how much is going to be new Star Wars? How much is going to be prequel stuff? Like, is
Oh,
there going to be a
that's-
Jar Jar thing? Is there going to be,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, all that stuff that they haven't touched?
It's a lost opportunity if there's no Jar Jar parody, right?
Right. Or if you
Right.
don't hear, it's a trap.
Yeah.
I mean, you already got, you know, Pizza the Hut.
There's
Yeah.
gotta
In there.
be a Grogu and a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure. Right. Yeah, definitely.
so
Well, I
that's what
mean-
we should do. We should dedicate, like, think about it and then dedicate the specific things we think, because obviously not everything is
Oh,
going
that
to
would
get
be
hit,
fun.
right? But we could, like, speculate which things are going to be parodied, and then once the film comes out, we can revisit and just be like, well, all right, well, what did we get right? You know, because we listed a few that feel like they're almost a given for them to parody. I don't know. I might even go watch the film again. Maybe, you know,
There's some
maybe
good
have
stuff
some
in there, like-
brownies and
Yes.
enjoy some snacks
Yeah.
and then
I-
watch the film. I don't know. You know,
One of the most famous quotes I cannot say on here, but you're going to love it.
I think I know which quote you're talking about, but
With the giant coat?
yes, okay. So I do
Yes.
know the quote, and I don't think I was like I feel like I should have laughed at that. I think I may have
Yeah.
chuckled, but I feel like it was one of those moments that like required me to like bust out laughing and just like milk should have been shooting out of my nose or something, right? Like, but I don't know.
It's just
Maybe I should
silly.
just
That's
like
all it is.
stop and just watch it again. Maybe that's what I just
Do
need.
it.
Just like I'm telling you, just get some brownies, enjoy a nice evening, get a nice glass of milk to go with those brownies, I guess, and
Just chill.
it'll be great. It'll be great. Hey, speaking of
I
snacks, totally gonna veer off, but we can go back in a moment. But did I tell you that I found Captain Crunch that's creamsicle flavored?
I don't remember.
Yes, in text.
I ordered
Yeah.
it to see what it tasted like.
Oh, gosh.
So spoiler alert, it doesn't taste like that.
Like orange dream.
No,
like
it
that.
tastes like Captain Crunch, but this is the thing. I when I tasted it, the first thing, well, when I opened the package, the only one that they had available was the supposed like family size, right? It's this big old box,
Sure.
got the captain and like
Oh, no.
beachwear and stuff like that. It's like orange creamsicle, like yay.
Yar.
I first of all, the thing I noticed is that the Captain Crunch little pillow pieces or whatever, they're so much tinier than I remember them. Like, I know I got a big mouth, but come on, like those are tiny, man. Like compared to what they used to
Man,
be.
inflation.
You used to put those little Captain Crunch pillows in your mouth. They used to cut up your mouth because they were so damn sharp in the corners.
Well, maybe that's what they're trying to get away
Well,
from. making them
whatever.
round.
It also took the flavor away because it kind of tasted like it's like part of the reason I don't like Captain Crunch in general is because
Would you say his name right?
Captain. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Captain.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. I'll try to emphasize the Captain.
I'm joking. I love
No, it's fine. It's fine. So,
Captain Crunch.
what was I saying?
Admiral Crunch.
Right. So
Something
no.
took away the
So
flavor.
So Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch makes
same.
this new cereal, right? And the thing I normally don't like about Captain Crunch is that it has this like weird greasy taste to it. Like it leaves this film on the milk and stuff, and it feels like wax or something at the end. Like it does. I don't know what it is, but it feels weird. Like it doesn't taste good at the end. Like you have to eat it when it's crunchy, and by the time it's soggy, like normally you're like, oh yeah, Count Chocula, make it soggy, and then you got chocolate milk and stuff, right? Like this was not it, man. This was like
This was Candle.
this was Candle. This was closer. And I know that some people like Captain Crunch, right? I'm not trying to yuck anybody's
Yeah,
yum on this
I do.
one, but this it to me it tasted it didn't taste like what I expected it to. And granted, this could be just the aftermath of stuff and I just couldn't taste it the
Maybe.
way that it was meant to, right? But I asked the kids, and the kids were like, "It tastes like Captain Crunch." So, like, to me, that's like, maybe it doesn't taste like this orange creamsicle thing. So it was a little upsetting. But sorry, didn't want to veer off. But
You
No
want to hear
worries.
some backstory on Horatio Magellan Crunch?
sure.
Oh boy.
Horatio Magellan Crunch captains the ship called the Guppy and was born on Crunch Island, a magical island off the coast of Ohio and in the sea of milk, with talking trees, crazy creatures, and a mountain, Mount Crunchmore, made out of Captain Crunch cereal.
Oh, so he's a hallucination.
The Sea of Milk.
Wow.
Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch.
In the sea by
Did you
Ohio.
ever get your off the coast of Ohio?
Okay.
The Sea of Milk.
All right.
Did you ever get your Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch?
I did.
Oh yeah.
I did. Haven't had them yet.
Okay.
The bag arrived a couple of days ago. It was running late, but
These were Doritos.
they're
this
Doritos.
time, right?
Yeah, Flamin' Hot Cool
Oh.
Ranch Doritos.
I thought they were flaming hots.
Yeah. Flamin'
I mean,
Hot
it's
Cool
basically the
Ranch.
same
Ranch.
thing, except that instead of
Okay.
puffed up whatever Cheetos are made of, it's
Yeah.
Flat
formerly
triangles.
known as created at Disneyland.
Right.
So.
Yep.
But I'll let you know.
Sure.
I'm excited. I like those when they showed up. I was ready to go. But they showed up the same day as the Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch cereal. so
yeah,
Captain,
pace yourself.
Captain. Yeah,
Captain.
I did have to pace myself, but I'll keep you posted.
So you want me to open this box?
Oh right,
Yes! Yes,
Let's go
yes,
back to the
Magic
box.
Meal.
Yes.
Okay, so I got my D23 Gold member shipment in the other day.
All right.
And it came with stuff. So here's we'll go from small to big.
Okay.
Yeah.
On this. So here's our little membership kit. And you open it up in a little flappies. It's a nice little flappies. And on this side, we get a little Goofy movie. This is a magnet.
Aw,
D23
cute.
Gold members, Goofy and Max. On this side, we have our savings passport that will never get used.
Oh
It's
wow.
coupons.
Your
for,
coupon book.
Let's see. Let's
They
see
get-
what I can get. $50 off Sitson. Your order of $250 or more at sitsonwatch.com.
Get free insurance when you rent from this car company.
30% off the Coca-Cola store in Orlando. 30% off Disney Fine Art. Let's see, what do we got? Curl Surf. Save $25 off any D23 event. I wonder if I can use that for the expo.
Do you have a coupon in there that says get free shipping with code SHIPMAGIC at
Ship Magic.
DisneyStore.com?
$75. 23% off of Joffrey's Coffee.
Listen, if you don't want that one, I'll take
JW
that one.
Marriott, Love Pop, Marvel. Get $23 off your Marvel Unlimited Annual Plus subscription.
That's actually not bad. Especially if you're into comic books. The Marvel Unlimited subscription is
Yeah.
pretty good.
25% off your online purchase of Ravensburger Jigsaw Puzzles and Games.
Oh, Jigsaw. Like, is it a
Well,
horror
Ravensburger
restaurant?
Who made
Isn't that who makes Lorcana,
Yeah.
Ravensburger?
and
buy Lor- 23% off
They make
Splitsville.
all sorts of games.
Villainous too?
They make everything.
Yeah.
They make Villainous.
So
They make the
Last
Jungle
Hut.
Cruise game. The
Terralina.
It's a Small World game. Oh, the ones I have back here.
There you go.
30% off Top Golf Swing Suites at VIP Perks at the Anaheim Hotel.
Wow.
Walt Disney
Oh.
World Swan and Dolphin. Wetzel's Pretzels.
Wow, Wetzel's Pretzels.
Receive
That's
23%
wow.
off your entire purchase at Wetzel's
See, we need-
Pretzels.
It would be nice to have a
Wolfgang
coupon like
Puck.
that for churros.
Wow.
Right, yeah. Free churro. That's what I
Wetzel's
want.
Pretzels.
Right.
Wow.
Anyway,
They can't give you a free like 25-cent churro after spending $120 on a membership.
Right?
right. Also in here is my gold member card.
Da-na-na-na.
Aw, cute.
I apparently have Stitch. I don't remember if I picked this or not, but Stitch is there. We have a little... Oh, no, Stitch is just a thing. A little message from Michael Vargo, the head of D23.
There's no
And
letter
then
from Bob
our-
Iger this year?
No, nope. Then you got your membership. I have these. I feel like I should like put them,
Frame them.
in frames like my diplomas.
Yeah.
And like put them on my office wall.
Why not?
The other thing we have in here is we have a Lorcana card.
Is that
This
the
is
the?
Iago.
Oh right, I remember we talked about this.
Out of Reach. It's looks kind of shiny. I don't know if that's
Shiny should be good.
If it's anything like the exclusive Lorcana box that was only available at D23, now being available
then-
for purchase on DisneyStore.com, I'll be able to buy it soon.
Probably. And then we got a little Stitch
Nice,
Cute.
D23 Gold member.
nice. Is it authentic? Did you
that's-
check the back? Is it authentic?
I don't know. I can't see the back. It says pinsource.com.
All right, well there you go.
Apparently, they're not made from the same people that make the Disney Parks pins. I don't know. Pinsource.com. Okay, so that's that exciting box. And then we'll go to... Let me put this back. This big old boy.
This,
This is heavy.
I have to admit,
That is beautiful.
I knew that this book was going to be a part of it, and there was a part, yeah. So I'm glad you're showing it from the side, because there's a part of me that when I thought that this book was going to be, one, a paperback, and two, about a third of the thickness of what this book is right now.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can compare it.
I am so surprised it is not like a small version of that book.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be like a decent size. I didn't expect it to be that size, though. I expected it to be like, I don't know. Again, at least, even if it was that size, I did expect it to be about a third of the thickness.
So this is the Imagineering book.
Right.
Imagineering storybook. So it's about maybe half the thickness, but it's twice the size. I mean, here's
Yeah.
the Imagineering book here, thickness
That's
wise.
awesome.
I mean, the Imagineering book is over 700 pages.
It's probably like the Women of Imagineering book then.
Okay.
Because
I don't know. I
here's
don't have that one.
so here for comparison, here's the I got like stuff from. So for comparison, if you put them together, here's the Women of Imagineering and but it's not as
Yeah,
tall
it looks
though.
like
Like these are
it's-
the same height though.
Yeah, this is huge, and I mean, like, I can just flip to like whatever page, and it's all full color, everything in here.
That's cool.
Oh man.
You know, this just looks like Mary Blair concept art for Tomorrowland murals.
That's awesome.
So this book it's called The Happiest Place on Earth: The Incredible Story of Walt Disney's Disneyland. It's by Don Hahn and Christopher Merritt.
Oh, I was gonna ask if Chris Merritt was involved in writing it. Chris
Yes.
Merritt has a lot of amazing books to his credit, man. Like a lot of the books that I own are by Chris Merritt. And then anytime Don Hahn gets attached to anything, like you just know, like
Right. Yeah, so this, I mean, basically it looks like it goes over everything that Walt had a hand in at Disneyland. And it's broken down by land.
nice.
Oh man, I think you sold me.
So there's a foreword by Bob Iger. And then there's like a section that's called Make Believe, and that's I'm like putting the book on the keyboard and typing a bunch of random letters. Section called Make Believe, and that's like basically development and like stuff leading up to Billy the Park. Here's some like Ward Kimball drawings right here. WED Enterprises. And then so then it's broken down. Main Street USA is our first. I'm getting away from the mic, sorry. Main Street USA is our first one, and they're color coded too. Then we go into so Main Street is pretty long. Adventureland, New Orleans Square, Frontierland, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland. So we kind of did a counterclockwise loop around the park.
So if the red cover on this one, does it actually say like D23 exclusive or anything on it?
Yep, it's D23 Gold Member
Edition, okay.
Disneyland 7.
Okay, because they're releasing the same book next month. Wait, is it July? Yeah, next month is July. They're releasing the same book. It's going to be like $55, pretty common for Chris Merritt's books. And you could just order it on Amazon. But the big difference with the Amazon one is that it doesn't have the red cover. It's got a white cover.
Okay. It's like very multicolor.
Yeah.
I saw what you're talking about, Heyzen. I was like,
I mean, what is the yearly subscription for?
This one comes with $99.
It's the $99 one?
Yeah. And you get the plaque. This comes in it too, which is I wish this was a individual piece. So this is like it just says D23 celebrates 70 years of Disneyland Resort, blah, 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 blah. Here's what's included in your package.
Yeah.
And then on the back is the replica of the note of Walt Disney's hand-drawn thing of like scribbling out. It says, where originally said, where you leave today and visit a world of fantasy yesterday and tomorrow. And he scribbles out where and puts here and then moves fantasy to the end. And, says sign over entrance tunnel at main gate and all these little scribble notes. It's a scan basically of this, but it's on the back of this.
So this year.
that's cool.
Sorry, go ahead, Mel.
I want to say that looks very familiar. I think they added something like that in one of the boxes for D23. But I think it was
a while ago, the one we split up, that one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, that's cool that they're giving it out again.
Me, Melissa, and Jill one year split a D23 membership.
We did.
And so we split up
Was that the one for the 60th
box.
anniversary, though?
It was like a weird one. It was like a weird year because it had like a bunch of like little, like there was like
It was for Mickey.
Oh,
Mickey's,
right. There was like
birthday?
there was like a bunch of little different like ephemera things.
Oh, interesting.
Like I think we ended up with like a handkerchief or something or a bandana. There was like a bunch of weird.
It was a lot of stuff in it.
Let me see if I can find any. I don't
Is
know.
that was that the adventure bandana?
I don't remember. But I remember we split stuff up. I remember there was a big sticker I think I got, or a big circle thing.
Yeah, you did. I think it was for Mickey's 90th, if I'm not mistaken.
That would have been 2022.
No, I don't know.
No.
Member gift.
The one that has the handkerchief that I'm talking about, the adventure.
Let's
Oh.
see.
I think. Anyway.
I'll find it.
Well, that's cool. So the reason I was curious was because, again, last year as a thank you gift, we made all those Disney plaques and we send them out to people as a thank you for their gifts or for their donations. But how does it compare size wise and like? Here's what I'm trying to get to. How good of the quality was the one? Like, remember, I had just jumped into 3D printing, so I wasn't experienced at it. Like, I was just learning it. I'm still learning, by the way. I'm not like in any way an expert or anything. But
looks great.
Like when you compare them side by side, how bad is what I made?
So, also, I found it was 2018.
That was 2018.
Was the
Okay,
2018?
yeah.
Celebrate Mickey Mouse 2018 member. Happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so let me get back to this. So here's Heyzen's. We have the small one, right? This is the small one?
Yeah.
I can't remember what.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the small one. This is like, what, 8 or 9? 8
It was like
inches?
6. Yeah.
6?
The small one was roughly 6, and then the large one was a little over
6
10.
and change, yeah. So this is the small one. And look at it, it's lovely. It's nice and shiny,
Yeah, it's
gold and
perfect.
brown. And, comes with a little stand. Here's theirs. It's a little more, close to, theirs is very large. But, I mean, all the details are there. I mean, we can hold them up together. Granted, this is a small one versus a large one.
Okay, so I have to pull the letters and then just add more of a margin on the top and the bottom. Gotcha.
I mean, I like the spacing on how you have it.
Oh,
too.
you do? Okay.
I mean, and so, the only difference, I mean, you're only really going to see these differences when they're next to each other.
Yeah.
Like, before I got this one, when I saw yours, I'm like, yep, that's how it is, right? And then, looking at this one now, yeah, this is, because the plaques out there are brass or whatever, like, this is just it's closer to how they're finished than, like, the gold. But I like the gold.
I do, too.
I mean, it was the closest color I could find that would kind of emulate what the plaque was, right? But
and the texture in the back is very similar behind the lettering. I know it's mostly just, like, print lines probably, but, this stippled texture... These little flower deals are pretty similar. I mean, I'm sure the bigger one, they came out a little more detailed than the smaller one because it's the really tiny detail. But, I mean, hey, they look almost identical from the back.
they have a little hanger on the
Good
back.
job.
This one has a little picture hanger.
That's what I should add to them if I make them again.
But you gave us a stand. So.
Yeah, the stand, I think, was just easier because you could put it anywhere. You didn't have to...
But, hey, this one, yours is a lot lighter. You could just stick this up with the command strip. I mean, both of these you could just stick up.
How heavy is it? Like, it's not a Chris Merritt book, right? But
no, it's a little heftier than yours. I think this is a plastic cast. I think this is solid.
Gotcha.
Like, because you have this is...
It's infill, yeah.
right?
It's not solid, yeah.
So I think this is solid. I think this is, like a plastic.
Okay, it's like
resin,
mold
injection
injection or something.
Injected. You can tell because on the back there's like these little. You can see the little circles.
Okay.
Oh.
Those are from the casting process. But yeah, it's I don't know how. It's about as heavy as a Gatorade.
Okay.
Maybe a little lighter than that. But yeah, it feels substantial. It feels sturdy. This one from D23. So I'm happy to have this one, and I'm also happy to have this one. They will be both going in my house.
Mine will be hung in your bathroom. The other one.
Right over the toilet. Here's where you leave today, and I'm gonna put like. So today is you leave today. That's the code word. I gotta go leave today.
Oh, people will know going forward.
But hey, this gold member gift, I think, best one they've done.
I was gonna say
in a long
that
time.
book.
I was gonna say, especially after the whole Mickey statue thing from last year.
The year before last.
Was it year
right?
before last or last year? I don't remember anymore. Like
Year
time.
No, this past one. Remember, was the statue and
The silver Mickey
and the
statue,
pin.
right?
No, remember it was the Mickey. Where you got like the choices. You got random.
The figurines. Right. So
Sorcerer
it was 2
Mickey,
years
and then
ago.
you could get, like,
You're right, because
Mama
this
Odie
D23 was okay. Oof. This construct of time, just
There's
like
an expo this year.
The construct of time,
What?
man, is like.
Right? Is it this year?
Next
Expo,
year.
Or is it
Is
next
it?
year?
I think it's next year.
When was the expo last year?
Ugh.
I forget.
Now I gotta check.
Was it 2024 the expo or 2023?
4.
Oh, okay, then it's
All
2026.
right, let me see.
They used to be on odd years, and now they're on even years. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah, because I know it was
little
last year
thing
because we
called
saw
a
each other, and I was like, yeah.
Right. That's when I got this. I
Right.
can't. My.
That's what I'm
timeline's
saying. This construct of time, man, I can't like put it together anymore. I'm like, my timeline's all over the place now. So, all right. Well, I think that's a good place to end this. I know we had a few
All
other
right.
things on the list that we wanted to talk about, but yeah, we'll talk about them next episode.
Yeah,
So,
this was happy stuff.
yeah. Well, it ended with happy stuff, thankfully.
Yes.
Okay. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to join us over on Discord, of course, but join us over on YouTube, Instagram. You know, we're on multiple social networks.
Tickety talk.
We'll eventually
We
be
on
on
there
TikTok.
still?
I set up the
Kind of.
account. I just never post on there because we don't,
Eh.
Discord.
You
could-
definitely go
could
Discord.
text
Yeah, you
us
could definitely
if you have
go
our phone
Discord,
number.
and then
If you have my phone number, text me. I'm not giving it out, but if you have it,
there you go.
I know there's
Text
at least,
Andrew.
Like, I know there's like 3 people that listen that have my.
Well, there
phone
you go.
number.
Text Andrew if you have his phone number.
Yeah, text. You can text me if you want. If you have any questions about Podketeers.
Perfect, right on.
Like, slide into the DMs.
Oh,
on Instagram.
okay. All right. Well.
You're brave.
Well.
But just for
Well then,
questions.
okay.
I don't know.
Questions that will eventually end
It's-
up on Quizneyland.
You know, Instagram's got that. You could have like general and then like close friends and like
That's
the
true.
groupings
Sure.
on Instagram. Yeah.
Sure.
No.
I mean,
On your
listen.
messages.
I'm very rarely on Instagram. I don't even have the other Meta products on my device anymore. So, but sure, I'll take your word for it.
Apparently, you have to give me the Instagram stuff.
I'll let you
login
post a
again, and
bunch
I'll
of stuff.
st-
Yeah.
I'll just start posting.
That's
junk.
you know what, that might be a good idea. So,
There we
all
go.
right, that's it. That's gonna wrap it up for this week. Don't forget to go listen to Quizneyland, and until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.